Hello, and welcome to SWLG Talks with the Spirit. I'm your host, Loyalty G, and today's topic is bad kids. That's right, aka unruly child, oppositional defiant child that just won't behave, acting out. So basically, I'm going to give you tips to deal with a unruly, aka bad child. But it starts with you within the home by setting boundaries. There's several scriptures that relate to how to discipline a child and upbringing of a child, particularly these two ones. Proverbs. Proverbs 29:15 states, "A rod and a reprimand impart in wisdom, but a child left undisciplined disgraces his mother." Another one of Proverbs 23:13 states, "Do not withhold discipline from your child. Although you strike him with a rod, he will not die." Now, of course, I'm not telling you to beat your child or anything like that or strike him with a rod. But what I am telling you is if you don't nip it in the butt when they're like 2 or 3 years old, they're going to be acting out and they will disgrace you and you're going to be ashamed. You're going to be going up to the school often. You're going to be bailing them out of jail, or they're going to be on drugs or dead. So there's no such thing as a bad kid. What it is a child where the parents or custodian, caretaker, has no boundaries for the child. There's a difference in rules and boundaries. Boundaries are what you have for yourself, what you will allow. Rules are instructions for the child to go by that you've put in place. Like, say, for instance, boundaries would be I'm not going to allow you to treat me like this because this is who I am, my value, my self-value. Rules, okay, you're to clean and do this here before you can go out. There's a difference. So let's talk about why your child is acting out. Could be several things. They're seeking attention. You're working all the time, and the first thing you say, I'm working on providing them with a roof over their head, food, shelter, clothing, and that's good and that's great. I commend you for that. But children need more than that. They need attention. They need structure. If you don't have it where you know where your child is at, what they're thinking about, what's going on in their life, then somebody from the outside will influence them and they'll be having you turning around in circles. They'll be doing weed, puff puff. They're going to be drinking. They'll slip and get it. They'll have getting an ID. They'll hang with their friend. You think that they're studying. They'll be having sex at the friend's house, and you don't even know these things. So you need to be concerned about that. So we got your boundaries. We got about you discipline them when they're just like 2 or 3 years old, when they're acting out. You can spank them. You can put them in timeout. You can take their phone as they're growing up. Driving privileges, all electronics, going out, different things. But you must set the boundaries and the rules, and even the punishment, the consequences have to meet up with what they've done, because you don't want to go to the point where your child is afraid to tell you certain things that's going on. Particularly, I remember going on a case. I did social work and I did law enforcement where this lady was having so much problem with her kid, running away from home, acting out, hanging with other girls, sleeping with boys, you name it. Mom working all of the time trying to provide for her. They would see their dad maybe once a month or whatever, he was paying some type of child support for him, but not much. But he was in the child's life. But this kid wanted attention. So they started doing drugs, hanging out, cutting class or whatever. So of course it's gonna come back on the parent to see what's going on with the parent. What's going on. Not to find out when the parent would let the child be supervised by someone, they weren't really supervising. They weren't monitoring the child. They were looking at porn on TV. They were smoking weed, and even and this is at home. We come to find out later that was going on. But she actually thought the person she had watching them was really watching them. They weren't. They were able to watch whatever they wanted to watch on TV. And they were using their devices, contacting older men on the phone as well. So this child was hanging out with her friend, and she was molested by the friend's mother's boyfriend. So of course she's not wanting to report it, and starts to act out. The mom, sees changes in behavior, but she hasn't told her what's going on. Now, had the mother known about what had gone on, or this family, who she didn't even know much about this young lady and her family, so if she had known, she could have kind of nipped it in the butt earlier before this child becomes to the point where they're now hanging out, popping pills, smoking weed, running away, cussing the mom out, and we're in front of a judge. So what you want to do is set the boundaries, the rules. They have to match up. The consequence has to match up with what's going on with your child. Find out who their friends are, who they're hanging out, the friends' parents. See what's going on. Look at their tablets. Look at their computer, their phones. You're paying for it anyway, so why not? You are the parent. You set boundaries, and you can let them know what you're doing, or you don't have to let them know, because you're the one that's paying the bills. But of course, there's respect. We have respect on both ends. But it starts with the parents. A lot of people say, well, it would be better if they had both parents in the house. I've had cases where both parents in the house and the child is still acting out. I had a co-workers whose daughter actually got involved with a gang and got injured, because she wanted to get out of the gang. Now, had the parents known anything about this family, they could have nipped that in the bud earlier, but that did not occur, and the daughter ended up getting injured. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we set boundaries when they're little kids. We set rules for them. And that we talk to our children and tell them that we love them. Don't be so much as to working all the time and not giving them the time and finding out what's going on with them, because you don't want to get disgraced. You don't want your child joining the gang. You don't want your child in juvenile system where they're learning different other crimes while they're in there, or you don't also want them to end up on drugs, out here having sex and getting diseases, becoming pregnant, selling drugs, killing people, because those are the levels that what happens if you don't nip it in the bud, or you may not even see your child again, whether they may be in prison or 6 feet under. So I hope that this segment helped you and your family. I ask that you subscribe. It's for free. Turn on your notifications. We're on every Monday. I'll be bringing different topics to you. Make sure you comment and share it with others. And you can email me at SWLGTALKS@gmail.com. Again, I'm Lori G. Until then, you have a wonderful evening, and continue to pray and watch over your children. God bless.